Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your weekly intuitive reading for Monday, August 9th through Sunday, August 15th, 2021. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Angel Tarot deck by Jane Wallace for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Elemental Oracle deck by Stacy DeMarco. Just a reminder that we're into the month of August now, whole brand new energy from July. You'll want to make sure to go onto my YouTube channel to watch the monthly intuitive reading for the month of August, complete with information about the Lion's Gate portal of energy, the monthly numerological vibration, the astrological transits of significance, messages from our angels and guides, and of course a special message depending on your stone of choice for that as well. So let's start out this weekly intuitive reading by looking at what your crystals or stones of choice are. Okay, so our first stone of choice. These are all special intention pendants that I've wrapped. However, I have not yet infused them with certain intentions or energies or called in certain angels or ascended masters yet. So I'm going to give you the properties of the stone itself, which is always an indication with those special intention pendants anyway. So this one here, the first stone of choice, is red calcite. Okay, so red calcite. This relates to our root chakra or base chakra. This is our center of security, stability, focus. This is about feeling rooted within who we are, right? So this stone helps to increase our energy, our physical energy and vitality. It helps to bring a sense of grounding for us. It protects us and protects the energetic and emotional bodies specifically. It also helps to increase our willpower, and it also helps to remove stagnant energies and blockages. Okay, so our second stone of choice is this beautiful piece of blue goldstone. Now there's different colors of goldstone. Oftentimes we'll see kind of orangey brown kind of goldstone. That's the original type of goldstone, but this one is blue goldstone, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's got these little kind of sparkles in it. All the goldstones have that kind of sparkly energy to it. And the blue goldstone is going to be helpful for getting in a meditative practice or a meditative state. It's a very calming stone. It helps to transmit healing energy, increases self-acceptance. It's an ideal stone for empaths. It's actually known as the empath stone. This is also going to be helpful for the third eye chakra as well as the throat chakra because of that color blue, right? So we're talking about clarity of vision and psychic intuition with the third eye chakra, speaking our truth with the throat chakra. This is considered a motivational stone, and it's also considered one of those stones. It's actually entitled the Wish Upon a Star stone. Okay, all right, and then our last stone of choice is this purple lepidolite. It has kind of that shiny reflective quality to it. So this purple lepidolite, of course, this one relates to the crown chakra. So the crown chakra opening us up to higher awareness and higher guidance. It helps with deep emotional healing, dissipates negativity or negative energy, and it is a stone of transition. It's known as the stone of transition, helping us through those times in our lives where there's transition energies. It helps us to get in touch with our higher soul self, and it helps to actually stabilize the energies of the soul. All right, so again, our stones of choice are that red calcite, root chakra, grounding, focused, security, matters of feeling emotionally and or financially secure. This is the blue goldstone, third eye, throat chakra, wish upon a star. And then there is the purple lepidolite, crown chakra, higher awareness, higher guidance. And what else did I say? Stone of transition. Yes. So let's go ahead and start by looking at the astrological energies. And I say that, and then they say, well, don't forget that we're still in that Lion's Gate portal of energy. So I talked a lot about that in the monthly intuitive reading for August. I talked about that in last week's intuitive reading because the climax of that energy, of that portal, of that Lion's Gate, was on August 8th. It actually opened on July 26th. The portal closes, so to speak, on August 12th. So last week, last Sunday, it was 8/8, and that is, again, the strong point, the point where the magnification of the energies were the greatest. But we're still in that Lion's Gate energy, right? This is the week of the 9th through the 15th. So from now until the end of the day Thursday, for us here in the United States, the 12th, this is the time period where that portal is still open, and we can still gain gifts and opportunities and increased psychic awareness and the benefits of the blessings of that Lion's Gate portal. So if you want to hear more about that, please go to the monthly intuitive reading. It's going to tell you a whole lot of things that the Lion's Gate portal helps to activate. But this energy is still here, so we want to take advantage of it, right? We just came off Sunday's new moon. Okay, the new moon on Sunday, this past Sunday, 8/8, and again the Lion's Gate portal, which was magnified to its greatest point. Now this week, astrologically, on Monday the 9th, we start out with Mercury, the planet of the mind, the planet that rules our ideas, thoughts, perceptions, and belief systems to some extent. Communications for sure. Mercury is in Leo, so it's very expressive, it's very dynamic, it's very fiery and passionate, and it is really a take charge, fiery kind of energy, which is great, right? So we can put forth our ideas with confidence, and we can speak with a sense of courage behind us. But on Monday, Mercury in Leo is in an inconjunct to Pluto, and Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It's the planet of power and control, transformation, regeneration. Pluto reminds me of the number 13. You know, if I were to think about numerology, and as a matter of fact, August, if you watch the monthly intuitive reading, the month of August vibrates to the number 13 because it's the 8th month. We're in a 5 universal year, and 8 plus 5 is 13. So the month of August is this 13 energy, which is about death and rebirth, and it's about moving slowly through this transformation and change on an inner level, but perhaps on an external level too. But normally we're focused on the inner level transformation, and then it domino effects out into the external, into our circumstances and situations. This is a month with that 13 energy where we're taking things step by step, we're organizing, we're making a plan, paying attention to details. Pluto reminds me of that energy in a sense, as far as at least the death and rebirth. So going back to Mercury connecting with Pluto on Monday, I feel like this is a very powerful dynamic energy as far as speaking our truth, but we might need to adjust how we're speaking it or communicating it. There may be power and control issues that we're having with other people, or within our own minds, we need to take our power back from faulty belief systems or lower thoughts. Also on Monday, we have the planet Venus, the planet of love, relationships, as well as the ruler of personal finances and money and other personal resources. She's currently in Virgo, and Venus in Virgo is much more discerning. She's much more discerning with her personal resources like money, and she's much more discerning and checking out the little nuances within relationships and the energies within relationships. Now, Venus in Virgo is opposing Neptune on Monday as well. And Neptune can bring a higher spiritual aspect to relationships, where we're utilizing this sense of discernment in a higher psychic kind of way, where we're reading between the lines, or seeing, you know, what's going on kind of underneath the surface, the small details. But Neptune sort of, it brings an illusion or an elusiveness to this. It's almost like Venus in Virgo wants to understand the little nuances, but Neptune kind of dematerializes them. And so we kind of fall into this ever-flowing either fantasy of what we think is going on or what we want to be going on, either way, or we fall into this higher state of not really caring what the details are, and falling into this higher state of love and unconditional love and compassion and forgiveness, and being of service to our partner, or being of service to humanity, which is all good. But there's a tendency to wear rose-colored glasses with Neptune. So Neptune has us in a relationships or within financial matters looking at things through rose-colored glasses, at least momentarily, which again isn't necessarily all bad. We're seeing the best of the situation. We're seeing the best possibilities out there. And maybe those best possibilities are true and accurate, but we have to remember that Neptune does rule illusion, confusion, and delusion on the negative side, or the lower than best side. And so we should probably wait until that transit passes before we make any major decisions regarding relationships or finances. On Tuesday, Mercury in Leo is now opposing Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of blessings, the planet of abundance and prosperity, the planet that rules our belief systems, and Jupiter is in Aquarius. So here we have Mercury, the planet of the mind, in a fixed fire sign, and we have Jupiter, planet of our kind of higher mind, or our belief systems, the big picture of things, in a fixed air sign, Aquarius. So there's a stubborn energy here. And that stubborn energy could be playing out with other people, to where we both have our own opinions, we both have our own thoughts or ways we view the world, or view the situation, or view ourselves, or view each other. And each person kind of wants to stay rooted in a fixed way, in a stubborn way, in what they believe is going on, or what they believe is right. And of course, Mercury is about communication. So there could be some communication that maybe gets blown out of proportion. Or conversely, if it's not on the shadow side, it's communication that gets blown out of proportion in a good way, where we're expanding and seeing the big picture. We're seeing all the possibilities. We're seeing what the potential is. We're seeing the possible blessings that may in fact come in if we just believe and have faith, because Jupiter does rule faith and trust. On Wednesday, Mercury is now moving out of Leo. So no more fire, passionate, confident, courage, expressive Leo. Now Mercury, the planet of the mental realm, is moving into one of its home signs, and that is Virgo. Virgo is much more analytical, logical, detail-oriented, discerning, looking at all those small details again. And Mercury is going to stay in Virgo from the 11th of August through the 30th of August. So not too long, about 3 weeks, and it kind of whizzes through that sign. And towards the end of the month, after the 30th, or on the 30th, it will move into the next sign. But during that time, it's about organizing our thoughts. It's about making a plan. It's about being detailed about what needs to happen, and taking those small steps and not trying to get too far ahead of oneself. It's about analyzing through logic, through the mind, what's going on. And so make sure that you're using the gifts of Virgo and not getting caught in that over-analyzing, or being on a hamster wheel, or getting into the anxiety or the doubt or the fear or the negativity that sometimes Virgo does. Instead, again, channel that in the most appropriate way to get things done. It's a work kind of sign, so we can get a lot done. We can focus our thoughts and, again, organize the plan and make sure that we carry something through. Also on Wednesday, Venus, which is already in Virgo, is in a positive aspect to Pluto, a trine aspect to Pluto. So I feel like this can bring a sense of empowerment, especially empowerment in work-related situations like our job. Virgo rules that kind of thing as far as our work and service in the community, or the job that we have, etc., the service that we give on a smaller scale. So here's Venus in Virgo empowering herself in her job, empowering herself in her thoughts, empowering herself in her ability to get things done or to make a plan. This can also be with Venus being the ruler of the divine feminine, that the divine feminine on a collective level is more empowered. So there might be some sort of situation or event out there in the world where we're seeing that kind of divine feminine taking a stand, standing in her truth and in her power energy. On Friday the 13th, yes, Friday the 13th, in the vibration of August, which is a 13 month, so here's that 13 energy again, which is death and rebirth, transformation and change. But on Friday the 13th, Mars in Virgo is in conjuncting Saturn in Aquarius. Now, Mars is our physical energy, forward movement, action, physical vitality even, and it's in Virgo. So it's channeling its energy through getting things done, chores, work, job, the details of things that we haven't taken care of. Again, organizing, we can organize our, our office, our home, or organize a plan that we need to kind of execute and put into action within some situation or circumstance in our life. But with Mars and Virgo in what's called an inconjunct aspect to Saturn, Saturn's always about timing and third dimensional time and having to have patience and needing to persevere and needing to stay determined to move through karmic challenges or obstacles or delays. Saturn is about structure and form on its most positive end. So if we channel through the Mars those little things that need to get done, Saturn can help us to build kind of this sense of a solid foundation, or help us to restructure a plan or restructure what's going on in our lives in order to move forward. But we have to have patience. We have to stay diligent and have patience and persevere through any kind of challenges, restrictions, limitations, or delays that Saturn might impose. On Saturday, we have Venus in Virgo in that inconjunct aspect to Jupiter. So now Venus in Virgo, again, organizing and making a plan. Now, also, by the way, I want to say that Venus in Virgo, just by itself, can sometimes get a little bit self-critical. Venus is about beauty and about harmony and, love, and she can become a little bit self-critical and self-doubtful in Virgo. With the inconjunct to Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion, that energy can expand so that we become more critical. And if it's not of ourselves, it might be more critical of our partner or of relationships, or we might be criticizing ourselves for some other situation or circumstance in our life. We might be feeling over anxiety, and that starts to grow and expand because Jupiter expands things, right? And sometimes we get stuck with Jupiter in Aquarius because Aquarius is a fixed sign. And since Jupiter rules our belief systems, we can get stuck in a certain belief system and find it difficult to move out of it. And especially with it connecting with Venus and Virgo, we might start to do a little bit of self-sabotage with our thoughts and our words and our perceptions. And so make sure that Jupiter Jupiter and Venus doesn't do that to you on Saturday. What's the positive of that? We could expand our energies into, again, the details of getting things done. Paying attention to how can we beautify, because Venus wants to beautify. How can I beautify my home? How can I beautify my office? How can I beautify myself? How can I beautify this situation? And then pay attention to the little details that Jupiter can expand into to kind of create and make that happen. Also on Saturday, we have the Sun, which is still in Leo. We still have the Sun in Leo, and it's in that inconjunct aspect to Neptune. So the Sun is about our sense of identity, confidence. It's about our sense of our ego self as well. It's about self-expression in Leo, creative self-expression. With the inconjunct to Neptune, this can help to have a magical effect with our creative self-expression or our creation energy. But there can also be this level of, again, not moving through things in a grounded way. Our physical vitality, because the sun is about our vitality on some level. So our physical vitality might be a little off, so to speak, because Neptune has a usurping kind of effect where it makes things disappear. So our physical vitality might be usurped a little bit. We might be a little confused as far as how we're expressing ourselves. But again, Neptune can have that magical effect with our creative self-expression. So if we kind of go with the flow and tap into the imagination and tap into the spirit realm, I feel like that can help us with our creation, with our sense of creation. On the confidence level, the sun in Leo is normally a confident placement. But again, Neptune can kind of usurp that confident energy to where we're feeling a little less confident at that time. And then on Sunday the 15th, we end with Venus, which has been in Virgo all week, right? We've talked about Venus in Virgo all week. But on the 15th, Sunday, it's moving into Libra. Libra is one of Venus's home signs. It rules both Taurus and Libra. Of course, Libra is the sign of partnerships, relationships, balance, equality, compromise, right? Things being fair and just. And Venus is going to be in Libra from the 15th of August until September, what did I write down? September 10th. So for a little while here, almost a month, not quite, she's going to be focused on relationships. This is all one-on-one kind of relationships, not just necessarily romantic partnerships, but it could also be business partnerships, family, friends, etc. But it's the one-on-one relationships and the need for, again, balance and equality and things being fair. So that is a little bit of a look at the astrological energies of significance for this week. Let's shift our perspective and see what our angels and guides have to say for us. Okay, so again, our stones of choice for the special message card are the red calcite, it's the blue gold stone, and the purple, or we could call it even lavender, it's such a light purple, right? But the lavender purple lepidolite. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of cards going on here, okay? 2 cards came out for every 1 card that I pulled, so we have a total of 6 cards, so we better get to those messages and see what they have to say for us this week. So we start out with Major Arcana 20. This is the Judgment card. And it says at the bottom, the Angel of the Past. Now, the first thing I heard when I turned this card over was it's a call to action. Now, the angel with the trumpet is normally Archangel Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel, or Archangel Gabriel, however you want to say it, is the angel that rules communication, information, messages. So to me, the Judgment card and Archangel Gabriel here blowing the trumpet is saying, okay, it's time to wake up, it's time to do something, it's time to pay attention, it's a call to action here. And it says Angel of the Past at the bottom because the past is often something that influences our present and possibly influences our future. And it's interesting that it says Angel of the Past because these dolphins seem to be jumping or moving forward. So I feel like this is the past versus the future. And right now we're in this present kind of energy, you know, this present energy, this circumstance that we're currently in, the situation we're currently in. And it's sort of like, do you want to go backward or do you want to go forward? Do you want to stay stuck or rooted in the past, which isn't always bad, but as far as past challenges or past lessons, we don't want to stay there. We want to jump forward. We want to move forward. We want to hear this call to action. It's our soul that's calling us to action, right? Our higher soul self. is calling us to action on some level and saying, hey, you don't need to stay rooted to the past. The past is part of us. The past is part of what we've lived through. The past has gotten, it's got certain blessings within it. There's certain lessons that we've learned from our past, but let's jump forward into the future. Let's hear the call of our soul and let's go ahead and move forward. This angel's dress is kind of a turquoise blue. So this is throat chakra energy. It's something about speaking our truth, right? Sharing information, speaking our truth. Maybe we need to have a conversation with somebody. Maybe we need to try to get somebody else to wake up, kind of that call to action for somebody else. But when it comes down to it, we can't necessarily influence someone else, although we might need to have an open, honest, authentic communication with where we're at and how we feel, but we can't necessarily influence someone else, or we can't necessarily wake someone else's soul up or have them hear that call to action that we're hearing. But this is something that, again, is more personal to pay attention to. Do you want to move forward, or do you want to stay, stuck in the past energies? Let's see what card came out with that for additional information. Okay, we have the King of Swords. Now, the sword suit is all about communication, okay? So, again, here's this communication aspect, speaking, perceiving, voicing your opinions. It says decisions at the bottom. So, the call to action, we may need to make some choices. We may need to make some decisions about what's happening here. I don't know exactly what this bird is on the king's arm, but I'm going to say it's a hawk. And so when I see that, the hawk, flies high. It's about higher vision, higher wisdom, kind of looking at things from a higher perspective in order to make the best decisions possible. We're not just looking at the situation with our third dimensional eyes. We're not just seeing what appears to be necessarily happening. We're needing to look at it from a higher soul perspective, especially with that judgment card there. So we need to raise our awareness and see, what is my soul trying to, tell me? What messages is my soul guiding me towards? Yes, I need to make some decisions, and those decisions may very well affect my third dimensional life, home, family, job, security, money situation, relationship. But we need to, again, look at this from a higher soul perspective. The king is a very mature energy, so he's very grounded, he's very mature, he's able to look at things from a more logical and analytical perspective. And he's wearing a purple robe, and purple is about higher wisdom, right? It's the crown chakra color. So higher wisdom, higher knowledge, looking at things from that higher vantage point. The birds are also messengers, and so pay attention to messages or information that also comes to you, perhaps from a male or someone who's got masculine energy, or perhaps from an authority figure, someone that is communicating or giving you some sort of message that is going to help with your call to action here. Let's take a look at the next card here. Okay, we've got the Four of Cups. So the cup suit is about our emotions. The four sometimes can be stagnant energy, stuck energy, karmic challenge energy, being kind of inside of a box and not being able to kind of get out of the box or see what's outside of the box or expand beyond the box. The energy at the bottom, or the information at the bottom, the word at the bottom says indifference. So this is, sometimes this can be devoid of emotion too. Like, again, the number 4, it's more of a logical, analytical number. So I almost feel like we either need to be more objective with our emotions and our emotional nature, or we're caught and stuck in not being able to feel, not being able to connect to our emotions. So it's one or the other, and that could go either way. Are we feeling indifferent about something or someone? Are we blocking our own emotional nature or from expressing our own emotional nature? Are we protecting ourselves and our emotions in some way, shape, or form? Are we feeling stuck emotionally? Are we feeling, challenged or going through some sort of karmic challenges with our emotions? So this to me is what's going on with this card here. Let's go ahead, and sometimes it can be about depression too, the Four of Cups. It can be, you know, being devoid of feeling emotion or actually feeling some sort of restrictive, limiting energy within the emotions, which can lead to some depression. Let's take a look at the card that came out with that. And we have, whoa, okay, we have a reverse card. Now, this is interesting because I don't use reverse cards in this deck. But this card came out reversed. It's actually the Two of Cups, okay? And the Two of Cups says partnership at the bottom. It came out with the Four of Cups. So, you know, with this being reversed, this is definitely pointing to some relationship matters that are probably out of balance. Maybe there's not an equal give and take going on with the emotions. Maybe one of you know, the people in the partnership, whether it's you or the other person in the relationship, is shut off from their emotions or shut off from sharing with you or expressing with you what's going on with them or how they feel about you and or situations or circumstances that you might both be involved in. So we need to somehow, you know, right the imbalance. We need to bring equality back into the situation. So whether this is about a sense of things being not fair, not just, not equal, or again, the partner maybe being distant emotionally or not sharing, so there's an imbalance in the partnership itself, this is pointing to, again, maybe some of the decisions that we need to make or the conversations and the communications we have to have with that Knight of Swords with our significant other. Maybe we need to try to wake up. You know, this call to action is like a wake-up call, right? Maybe we need to have a conversation and communication with the significant other to bring them into that kind of wake-up call kind of state of being or state of mind. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last two cards. Okay, another major arcana. This is major arcana 14. This is the Temperance card. It says Angel of Peace at the bottom. Now, temperance is usually about balance. So here we're going back to a need for a state of balance, a need for a state of harmony. With temperance, we have to have a little bit of patience. With temperance, we have to use a little bit of moderation. So we're trying to get to that state of peace, whether it's peace within ourselves or peace within the relationship or peace within the situation. And this is saying have a little bit of patience, stay balanced physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Do all things with moderation. So going back to that idea of making decisions or having to make choices, don't make them sporadically. Don't have a knee-jerk reaction about them. Stay calm and balanced and stay in a place of, I don't know if I want to say waiting for information, but definitely being aware of the messages and guidance that might be coming in rather than acting too quickly. You know, temperance, again, is always about kind of have a little bit of patience and do things in moderation. Don't get stuck in exaggerating or doing too much too fast or having an imbalance of energies here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the last card. I'm looking at the water. She's standing in water and she's got like a cup of water or some sort of vessel that she's pouring water out of into a different cup. So we're definitely talking about some emotion stuff there too with the water. So to me, you know, having moderation is not getting caught up in the emotions too much. You know, sometimes we're either emotionally cut off, and that can be to an extreme, or we can be emotionally out of balance and reactive, and that can be to an extreme. So rather stay in a place of moderation here with your emotional expression. Then the last card, ooh, another major arcana, the Hierophant, major arcana 5, the Hierophant. This is the Angel of Blessings, interestingly enough, in this deck. The Hierophant is, in the traditional tarot, about a spiritual authority figure that we go to for some sort of guidance or support or messages. And oftentimes in some of my decks, when I see the Hierophant, it's more about going within, like you're your own inner authority. You know, listen to your own inner wisdom and guidance. But now this can be either way. You either go within yourself to seek inner guidance, Or you can go to a trusted friend or a trusted advisor or counselor or therapist or spiritual, authority like a priest or a rabbi, or someone who just knows more about the situation or the subject matter than you. That would be an authority figure as well. And in seeking out that information, whether it's, again, from someone who has that information, who's more an authority in that area, or by seeking that spiritual information and messages within yourself, either way, you're going to, eventually come upon the blessings that the current situation or circumstance has to offer. In other words, let's say you're in a difficult situation. Maybe it's a relationship situation that seems difficult, obstacles you're moving through. Maybe it's a living situation. If you just kind of have a little bit of patience, stay balanced, you're seeking what is the higher perspective in all this, going back to that King of Swords and the bird there, right? What's the higher perspective of what's going on here? What am I supposed to be learning? Or am I missing anything? Or do I need to wait for more information? This is saying that eventually, through this situation, you're going to come upon the blessings. And whether the blessing is you gaining some sort of spiritual gift, moving through some sort of karmic challenge, finding the confidence within yourself, or maybe the blessing is more tangible. Maybe it's a gift of money, a gift of support, the thing that you're waiting for, the information that you're waiting for, the job that you're waiting for, the place to live that you're waiting for. Maybe whatever that is comes in like a blessing. But in some way, shape, or form, there's some sort of blessings here. But we have to stay connected to our higher soul self. To me, if you're looking at this card as far as you being your own spiritual authority, that means you're connected with your higher truth and your higher soul self. And when you're connected to your higher truth and higher soul self, you'll always find the key to the blessings that you're looking for. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice. So let's give this a little shuffle. And for the red calcite people, okay, I have to clear my mind. All of a sudden, other things were popping in. So let's just clear the mind. Red calcite, special message for the red calcite people. Okay, all right. Can't put those in. We're going to take this one, though. The one that was on top. That was interesting. Okay, this says mountain, and then it says clarity. Number 16, by the way. Number 16 is a karmic number in numerology, and it usually means that there's some sort of significant, huge change that's coming, that's on the way. And if you think about a mountain, mountains are very majestic, very large, right? So we're talking about, again, some sort of very large energy dynamic that's coming in to sweep through and change things in some way. Now, the sun is peeking up over the mountain, so again, this relates to the idea of having clarity, right? The sun's going to shine its light upon the situation, and you're going to have kind of that aha moment or feeling of clarity about what to do or what decision to make. Of course, there's a lot of white in this card because the mountains are covered with snow. White is a very high spiritual color, right? We talk about surrounding ourselves in white light all the time. The woman, she's blanketed or wearing a white dress. So we have this high vibrational energy, right? Crown chakra. Crown chakra energy brings a sense of clarity. This is about opening up to the higher wisdom and knowledge of the universe, which is going to provide that clarity that you're seeking, that's going to shine its light upon a situation or circumstance where there's going to be some big changes ahead for you. Now, she looks very peaceful, so I want to say stay at peace, because sometimes when big changes are coming, it's difficult to stay balanced and in a state of peace. So I want to say do more meditation, have more rest time, because you might need it for whatever changes are coming. You might need that extra sleep, that extra rest, that extra sense of peace and balance. But know that you're protected. The white snow, the white dress, the white light is all around you. The sky is even white. So you're definitely protected and guided through whatever this circumstance and situation is all about. All right. Now, for those of you that chose the blue goldstone, mountains are strong, by the way. They're talking about mountains being very, very, again, majestic and strong. So you have that strength within you to get through anything. Blue goldstone people. Okay, this one's sticking up as I open my eyes. And this one says plants, and it says growth. Okay, so whatever situation you're going through, and we have number 19 here, by the way, and 19 is also a karmic number in numerology. Now that's interesting because there's only 4 karmic numbers. Okay, 16 is one of them from the last card, 19 is one of them. The number 19 numerologically is about beginnings as well as endings, because it's comprised of a 1, which is new birth and new beginnings, new directions, and a 9, which is the last of the single digit, about endings, completion, letting go, and releasing. So there might be some endings and new beginnings here. Either way, however that works, I'm sure there's a merging of both, endings and new beginnings, but there's growth involved here. Soul growth and evolution is involved here with whatever it is that you're going through. Now, interestingly enough, we have this, I don't know if that's a bull or what kind of animal that is, but it has a lot of the plants there involved with it. So to me, this is like getting back in touch with your roots, right? Getting back in touch with your roots, connecting with Earth Mother Gaia. You know, she's going to be what brings you the stability and security right now. Like, think of yourself, in other words, you can walk barefoot on the earth, you can spend time out in nature. That's going to help to bring a stability and a groundedness. Or you can just, in meditation, visualize roots coming out of your feet chakra, the bottoms of the soles of your feet. Okay, the roots are coming out of the soles of your feet and going deep into Earth Mother Gaia towards the core, her core. Okay, so this is again giving you a stabilizing effect. You know, plants in the earth, right? Stabilization, groundedness, focus. You need all of these things right now to move through this time period of growth and evolution that you're coming upon. But this is a bright card. You know, there's little sparkles of light there within the tree branches and even in the sky. Now, there does look like there's a little bit of dark clouds there. Not too dark, but a little bit of cloudiness going on. But those sparkles of light are lighting the way. These are your guides. These are your angels. These are the messages. This is the guidance that's leading you through this time of growth and evolution of your soul. So the big message, though, is to stay grounded and focused on where you're going, okay? And then for those of you that chose the purple lepidolite people, special message for purple lepidolite. This one's calling me. And this one says outer core, and it says fluidity. Outer core fluidity. This is number 12. Number 12 is not a karmic number, but you know what? In numerology, the number 12 is considered a special number. It's actually considered a number where the soul has had a full cycle of experiences in their incarnations. In other words, you've been through several different past lives and had several different experiences to learn several different lessons. So in that way, it's considered a special number. But they say the one thing about the number 12 is that you have to pay attention to your belief systems. There's still something with the belief systems that has to be adjusted. Thinking glass half full rather than glass half empty. Or some certain belief system from childhood or from your family of origin, your ancestry, or from previous lifetimes, something that keeps on coming up over and over again, you know, a phrase, a belief system that you hold deep in your subconscious that needs to still be adjusted. Now, this woman, she's coming out of the water, right? Fluidity. So the water element is the emotions. So you're needing to be more emotionally flexible, more emotionally fluid, getting more in touch with your emotions, being able to express your emotions here. The fact that it says outer core, I don't know exactly what to think about that, except for I want to say that, to me, having, the word core makes me feel like there's a strength, a sense of strength in the core of your being. The outer core, is like if we were talking about, say, the emotional body. I mean, our physical body is, kind of our, well, it depends on your perspective, right? The physical body could be considered the outer of our, well, it's not really the outer of our energy bodies. For me, I feel like the outer core here is having something to do with your emotional body. This is, like the outer to me means that your emotional body is the energy body that needs to be secured. Like there needs to be a sense of securedness. That's not even the right word. Is that even a word? Like there needs to be a sense of security in your emotional body. Outer core, stability, security. There's the water element here, so emotions, emotional. And I feel like you're needing to kind of strengthen the emotional body. So energetically speaking, let's say your emotional body is a little fragile. Let's say your emotional body has been usurped of energy by situations or circumstances or something going on in your life. I feel like there needs to be a strengthening of the emotional body core that's happening. So I guess that's what I'm trying to get to here. She looks confident, she looks confident and strong. So if you can find that inner confidence and strength within your emotional body again, that can help to relate to the shifting of the mental body, belief system, or perspective that needs to be shifted in order for you to be more fluid, which means allowing. Like fluidity means you kind of go with the flow. You need to go with the flow, trust, have faith, allow, surrender, to where spirit is guiding you. So that's a big mouthful, and hopefully that somehow made sense to you all. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the weekly intuitive reading. I want to thank you all for supporting, watching, sharing, commenting, both on my channel here, on my videos, as well as on Facebook. Thank you so much to those of you that support me through my website and checking out the products and services that I have available. Sending you all lots of love and light and many, many blessings.